devastating for ordinary people. Look, let's get more on all of this. Amir Pavar is joining us from our economics correspondent from the BBC Persian team. He's in Vienna. Amir, great to have you with us on the programme. Hey, look, I believe it could take still a very long time to get those oil pipes flowing and get the oil out there. But explain to viewers around the world, what would it mean for Iran's economy just to get an extra $4 to $8 billion a month?
Well, it's a breakthrough for the Iranian economy. First, on the oil, as we know, Iran has up to 30 million barrels of oil stored on tankers on waters, which it can release to the market virtually overnight. That can happen immediately in medium term. Iran can bring back its capacity, which it has, but it's not producing, so doubling its output in about 1 year. And in the long term, as the international oil companies come back to Iran and the Iranian oil industry, it can increase its capacity even further, far more than what it was before the sanctions. But for the Iranian economy, it means more foreign investment. Foreign investors, big foreign companies will go back to Iran to invest and start trading with Iran. The trade was significantly limited because of insurance, shipping and banking sanctions. Banking sanctions hurt the Iranian economy most, and now Iran will again be connected to the world banking system. So not one, not two, there's so many different aspects for Iranian economy, and it will open the world's largest untapped market on the face of planet.
Well, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about some of those outside companies lining up. But look, let's talk about this untapped economy, if you will. Because not only, we're talking about oil, but we're talking about a country with a population, and correct me if I'm wrong, something like 80 million, nearly half of that, they're under 35 years old. I mean, the potential for all sorts of sectors it's got to be staggering.
Oh, yes, indeed. We're talking about big retail brands going back. We're talking about consumer goods with all kinds of products. This is a massive market ready to join the world economy again. Of course, all of these will not happen overnight. There's a whole process of unmaking of the sanctions, this tangling web of sanctions, which the EU sanctions, US sanctions, this will all take time. But indeed, as you said, the potentials of this market, as some people say, it is not a frontier market, it is not an emerging market, it is a re-emerging market. It can easily go up the ladder within the top 20 economies. The size of the economy is already in the top 20. So it has been a political issue why Iran has never been part of the G20, for example. So huge potentials. The young population and isolation from the world for a long time will all mean opportunities for businesses around the world.
Indeed. Amir, you mentioned about political. I just want to ask you this, and some may say there could be a slight concern. Is there a guarantee with all this money, if it happens, all this money flowing back into the Iranian economy, is there a guarantee that the government there will actually spend the money on the people, on the domestic economy, as opposed to perhaps spending it on military or other likes?
Well, it had better do. Part of the promise of Iranian President Rouhani was to revitalize the economy. He cannot do that without that money, which is now blocked in Iranian accounts around the world because of the sanctions. Of course, the military probably want their slice, but let's not forget, even part of the military is involved in Iranian economy, and they would want this money to revitalize, to restore the economy. There is a blueprint of how to spend this over $100 billion. There is already a blueprint in construction, investment in energy industry, in telecommunications. So there is already a plan. Now the question is whether the government will be powerful enough to stand firm against requests which will come from every dimension, asking for them to be allocated part of this money. President Rouhani, for him, getting the deal was a big victory, but the real one is to actually deliver what he has promised on the economic side, and that will happen only if he spends that money in the economy, not in the military.
Yeah, a great point indeed. Amir, we appreciate your time. We'll talk to you very soon.